Hi, Zeus here. I discovered a new combat meta at 3 engines, and using this new meta, along with my original one, I won both my level 19 and level 20 boss battles, so I wanted to share that with you. All right, let's jump right into combat. I've been on a 3 times win streak, and I want to show you my new meta. It's using 7 boats of cryo bombardiers with 1 boat of heavies and Kavan. And what you do is you land the 7 boats of cryo bombardiers on the beach with Kavan, immediately spawning riflemen out of Kavan to provide a meat shield for the 7 cryo bombardiers. And you let the cryo bombardiers do their thing, and you clear out the base. Now, this strategy works extremely well with these bases that have highly concentrated defenses on the bottom half of the warship deck, usually with 2 engines there, and very few defenses in the back. Once you get close to clearing out all of the defenses on the left, you launch your boat of heavies. And the goal of the boat of heavies is to wander down through all of the mines and into the back of the warship deck. And some of your troops are going to die in the mines, but hopefully you have enough protection between the existing troops and the heavies that you just launched, and you can get through the remaining defenses and flare to the engine. And I've used this method to win as fast as 2 minutes and 47 seconds, and it is rarely yielding less than 2 minutes and 33 seconds. So it's a really good strategy for that kind of a base. Now, my opponent here, he's using a more conventional attack with a split, and I'm going to show you that style too. I was using that pretty consistently until this morning, and well, he lost 2 minutes 32 seconds. So again, 1 second better, even though it was one of the worst times that I've gotten with this new strategy. So with the win, I extend my win streak to 4 times, and I won my level 19 boss battle. Open up the chest. I'm going to add that to my big stack of chests. My goal right now with the tech tree is I'm collecting enough chests to be able to go straight from 3 engines to 5 engines and open the Heavy Choppa along with the artillery or bomb and max all that out. And the thought there is that the Heavy Choppa should be meta at 5 engines, and I can bypass Seekers at 4 engines, where if you don't have instant training on your account, you're not going to be competitive, and it's going to be very tough to do well. Now, my opponent here, Sportsmad71, he's using the conventional attack. You land half your boats on the far left with a mix of heavies and cryo bombardiers, and the first group has Kavan, and then when you destroy enough of the defenses on the left to tear yourself open a hole, you flare to the left, and when that flare expires, or as you're flaring, you launch your other 4 boats. And so your troops divide nicely into 2 groups, and the bottom half takes out the engines on the bottom, and the upper group takes out the engines on the top. I'm going to show you some past examples here. This one was 2 minutes and 39 seconds with this new strategy with the 7 cryo bombardiers and Kavan launching at the beginning. And you can see just how quickly they clear out the base. And because they have great range, the cryo bombardiers don't really need to move that much to target a new defense. And now I'm launching my boat of heavies on the far left. And luckily I've got a few riflemen to go through the mines at the beginning. And I made a mistake there. I didn't flare fast enough to break the target lock bug that's there, but then I flared to the HQ and all's well. So very quick time, 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Here's one, 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Now you've got a boom cannon there on the beach, so you've got to shock that so that your Kavan doesn't get sniped out. And this one, there's not so many defenses on the bottom. It's not quite as intense on the bottom, but I still chose to go with this style of attack. And you can see, with about 3 minutes right now remaining, I'm on the backside of the base with my entire army there. So it's a very quick and powerful offense. And my cryo bombardiers are strong enough to take 2 mines, so didn't even need to throw a health pack down there on the minefield. This attack was relatively slow, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I really should have used my conventional attack on this base, but I was still kind of learning to see, what this new strategy was good at and what it was not good at. And luckily my opponent did not have a very fast time. So, and I also launched the boat of heavies a little late. So anyway, those are some of the things that you need to watch out for. Another thing you need to watch out for is make sure that you flare to something so the targeting bug doesn't launch all of your army from the lower half around the corner and into the jaws of death. And you're going to need to flare to the HQ to not have to deal with some of the remaining defenses. Now I'm going to show you this attack on my base because I want to discuss the base a little bit. So I've been trying to come up with a base that is good as anti-seeker, anti-heavy, and this is an example of one of the few attacks that actually got through on my base. Now you'll notice that there's a couple of boom mines there. He flared around some of the boom mines, and that really kind of made the difference here. And he beat me by 1 second with my new strategy, so that was kind of painful. And what's needed was a few adjustments to the base at this point to slow it down. Now most people have stopped trying to use all heavy rush on this base because they know that it's not going to work, and most people fizzle. So with this new strategy that this guy came up with, the flaring around the mines, I'm going to go in now and adjust the mines so that we've got a few more boom mines in the path of the heavies if they use a flare technique like this last guy did, because it was about the only way I think that you could really do all heavy rush successfully on my base. Anyway, with that win, I'm up to 359 on the US leaderboard. Some hours later, I continued on, and this base is a classic Big Bear Ballin base, and again my style base. And again, my attack strategy is extremely successful against this kind of a base, and it's really the only way to go. I was using an attack with 2 groups of 1 heavy and 3 cryo bombardiers with Kavan, landing almost on the same spot on the far right in 2 groups, with the idea of having Kavan go to the left group, and I was shocking the defenses on the right so that those heavies were not injured, and so Kavan would naturally drift to the left. And that was pretty successful. It was going pretty well, but it just isn't as fast as this new style of offense. And so once I switched the technique to that one for these kinds of bases, I started rising up the leaderboard very rapidly because I was consistently winning. Now, one of the problems here is the minefield at the end. You got to kind of make a judgment call whether or not you can go around the minefield or you can go through the minefield, and it really depends upon how much energy you've got left to spawn out troops out of Dr. Kavan, or how many troops, like heavies, are in front of your main force of cryo bombardiers. And it's super important, like I said, to flare some defensive item before you flare to the HQ so that your troops don't go around the corner and with the targeting bug and kill themselves. So that battle went pretty well, and looks like I won by 1 second. So I'll take it. Gabriel 18. Okay, well, we're going to try to extend our winning streak from 4. Again, this is a Big Bear Ballin style base, almost identical to the base that Big Bear Ballin, who's one of the leaders on the Leaderboard, designed and ran up into level 21 with 3 engines. One of the things you need to watch out for is, is there a boom cannon that can snipe your Kavan, and make sure that you land your Kavan outside of the range of that boom cannon so that it's spamming defensive riflemen before anybody can snipe the Kavan out. I have to say, if Kavan dies early in one of these battles, you're gonna lose. And it's pretty much one of the few ways that I've lost to an opponent once I'm using this strategy. And there's just a couple of random things that can happen. Kavan walks sometimes very erratically, so you've got to be careful and watchful at all times as to what Kavan is doing. So this attack's going very well. I've got my boat of heavies launched, and I've got some troops in the front. And one other thing that's kind of helpful is sometimes shocking boom cannons or rocket launchers that might pick off your troops as they're going forward, because you want them to go through the minefield and be able to survive all the way there, so that when your cryo bombardiers arrive, you can flare to the HQ and take it down. Now here, where there's 2 HQs in the back, you can't flare immediately to one, and it's just a little bit more time consuming, but 2 minutes and 38 seconds is a pretty good time. Oof. A draw. So let's see what my Chinese opponent did. He had a clever thing. So what he's done here is he's used a shock to be able to split and scoot between my defenses on the left, which can save him some time. The problem with that strategy, I can tell you, and I've tried it myself, is you got to make really darn sure that your Kavan does not get sniped by a boom cannon or a cannon as it's going by. I've had that happen. All right, so again, one of these Big Bear Ballin style bases. So we're gonna launch in with our 7 cryo bombardiers and Kavan, and there's no boom cannon or anything on the beach to snipe us, so we're just gonna land and go for it. So we're just spamming out riflemen, and the riflemen are going to do really well against these single-shot weapons like the cannons, boom cannons, sniper towers. Where they aren't going to do well is if there's a mass of machine guns, or there's a mass, opponent treated, that's pretty awesome. Mass of flamethrowers, a mass of mortars can really do some serious damage to riflemen. So sometimes you're going to have to shock them if they're not already stunned by your cryo bombardiers. And see here, we put the flare on this machine gun to break the targeting lock bug. And as soon as that machine gun's down, we're going to flare to the headquarters after we throw down a health pack. And our cryo bombardiers are through and now taking out the last engine. 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Balam. So let's see what went wrong with Balam. A all-heavy rush. So let's see if our newly designed minefield, yep, and he retreated because the all-heavy rush was not going to work out. So with that win, we got up to number 183 on the US leaderboard. So let's go back into combat and see if we can win some more and get closer to level 20. So this base, I'm going to go with my original combat style of heavy with 3 cryo bombardiers on the far left, and then flare to the back with Kavan. The weapons are just not as dense in the front. There's quite a few in the back, and so that's why I'm choosing to go with that methodology of combat attack. So we're going to clear out a few of these items, including this first row of cannons and boom cannons, and then we're going to flare to that machine gun. We're going to land our troops. Now, it's really important not to land your troops on the second group too far to the left, because they're going to drift left anyway until, following that flare, until your original force of troops destroys the item that's been flared to. So see, they've already migrated quite a ways to the left, even though I landed them quite a bit to the right. And you don't want a delay in any number of seconds before your troops on the bottom engage and start shooting once that flare expires. So we use a shock to suppress these rocket launchers, because the rocket launchers can actually take out some of our cryo bombardiers, and that would dramatically slow us down. Now, I made kind of a bad flare there, hoping to quickly kill the engine before my cryo bombardiers in the bottom went too far. But 2 minutes and 30 seconds is bad time, but looks like I still won. So LOL, let's see what went wrong with LOL. I don't know. He used a rifleman cryo bombardier strategy. So the riflemen aren't resilient enough to survive long enough. Okay. Oof, that was a bad flare right through the minefield. So that minefield is specifically designed to take out cryo bombardiers, because the mines are in groups of 3, and if a cryo bombardier hits 3 or 4 mines, it's going to die. All right, let's go back into combat, and if we can win this one, we can win our level 20 boss battle. So this base has very few defenses in the back, so we're going to switch back to our new style of combat with the 7 cryo bombardiers and the 1 boat of heavies. My iPad's acting a little bit wonky here. Can't trigger some of the commands. This is not good. Okay, so the boom cannon there, we got to place the Kavan outside of the range of the boom cannon, spawn some riflemen, and off we go. And we've got a shock on that boom cannon just in case. We're launching our boat of heavies on the left, far left. And the defenses are almost all knocked down on the bottom half of the warship. So we're going to flare around these mines. I think I've got time, 2 minutes, 54 seconds. everybody's just going to go around the minefield. And hopefully the heavies will take out the mines. Oof, lost a few cryo bombardiers. We still have a lot. We flared to the last HQ. All right, engine, and 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Not a great time, but hopefully it's good enough. Huge shutdown. Sweet. All right, so we won our level 20 boss battle. And we're going to collect our level 20 chest, which is awesome. Add it to our giant pile of keys. Let's take a look at Hugh Shutdown's attack on us. All right, so he's using all heavy rush. And you can just see like the number of heavies that he loses slowed down his attack. Now he respawned them again with his Kavan. His heavies are all going to run across that minefield. And while he's going to get the engine, it's just so slow enough that it's not good enough. All right, well, with that win, we're up to number 152 on the US leaderboard. So here's the tech tree that we're using. And, we've not opened the gunboat energy node. We've not opened the rocket launchers or the fourth engine. And the goal is to open that fourth engine, the smoke, the medic, the gunboat energy node, the fifth engine, the artillery, and the Heavy Choppa, and max out the Heavy Choppa, artillery, and gunboat energy all at the same time. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and thanks as always to Hercules for the video editing.